Everybody, welcome. I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology Life After a Cult. Today, on today's Scientology recap, we're going to be talking about Mike Rinder sharing insight into Scientology attacks. Aaron Smith-Levin and Jenna Miscavige are talking smack, and my name got brought up. Spoiler alert, it's nothing bad. Winter Wonderland is a go, but no one seems to care. Scientology front group Galaxy Press is missing from the Hollywood Christmas Parade lineup. We have that and so much more to get to today. All of the shade, we will be throwing all of the shade today to Scientology. Yes, we will. Welcome everybody in the live chat. Thank you for being here. Huge thank you to the moderators for helping out today and the members for being here. And of course, all of you lovely chatters there in the live chat. Great to see you. Aloha. Everybody gearing up for Thanksgiving. We're going to talk about that too a little bit later on because, we just got to kind of get into it. But we got to kick it off with something that's funny, that's cute, that warms my heart. Let's take a look at this. If you guys have not been following Cricut Cinema here on YouTube, you're missing out because Cricut Cinema makes some funny stuff. And let's take a look at this. This is from Antics of a Mama Squirrel. She says, how adorable is this? Cricut Cinema made this for me. Look at that. Knit today, Thetan. Okay, I find that so crazy funny because, not today, Thetan, or not today, Satan. But when you say Thetan, it sounds like it for those who might not know. So knit today, Thetan, I think is absolutely hilarious and I love it. And looks like Antics of a Mama Squirrel loved it as well. I thought that was so funny. I love the memes that Cricut Cinema does. I really do. There's almost like you could find one a day. So check that person out. Okay, you guys, let's go over and talk about, wait, what are we talking about? Yes, we are. Let's talk about the Presley family curse. Mwah! Did y'all know that there's supposedly a Presley family curse? I mean, you might be like, well, Natalie, look at what's happened to this family. And yeah, I would agree. I mean, they've seen like more grief than the Kennedys. It just seems a lot of loss and whatnot. But this article makes a really interesting point. We're going to take a little look at this from the Daily Mail. Elvis Presley's granddaughter, Riley Keough, addresses family curse after tragic death of mom and brother. And this is the thing that I find really interesting. And I found this really interesting when I was reading the book, or listening to it, I should say, Lisa Marie Presley's memoir, which was finished by her daughter, Riley Keough. It struck me as interesting how often they would refer to mental health treatment, addiction, depression, mental health issues. All of these are fabulous things because, in my opinion, and I'm going to link this article and everything else down below right after I'm done here, so you guys can go read the whole thing. We're just going to look at a couple points. The family curse is really the addiction issues, which is what's gone over in part in the article as well. Stop the presses, you guys. Bob, supporting my favorite YouTuber, Natalie. Thank you, Bob. Usually I get, Natalie, you're my second favorite next to Aaron. So just, Bob, I'm Bob's favorite and I will take it. Okay, so back to this whole family curse thing. So she was asked specifically, is there a curse? And of course she said she doesn't think so. And then the article goes into, like the history of the family. And everyone in here, this is a quote from Riley, everyone in here has loved somebody with addiction issues or has lost somebody tragically. Riley has insisted that her dream for the future is that there will not be any addiction struggles within the family. I love that she's bringing this up, that like this is the curse, because really that's the core of the situation. I think so many times, right? Think about your own. Not that you guys have any family dysfunction whatsoever. I am not making assumptions here. So we'll use myself as an example. My side of the family that was never in Scientology, even my side of the family in Scientology, both sides had addiction issues. My dad struggled with addiction his entire adult life. My mom did for a period. And then you fast forward into, right, when my family got into Scientology when I was 5 years old, my first stepdad was fine in terms of addiction, but when my mom married his dad, when my mom married grandpa dad, and if you're playing the Natalie drinking game, when grandpa dad is announced, you do get to take a sip. So if you have your coffee, grandpa dad. So when she did that, grandpa dad he did struggle with addiction. He was, in my opinion, and based on what I witnessed as a child growing up, an alcoholic, which people don't really like to talk about, especially when you're in a Scientology family. There's this compounding of the issue, in my opinion, of Scientology not acknowledging addiction issues in the way that the rest of the world does. Because what is the solution in Scientology? Oh, go put yourself in a sauna, take some dangerous levels of niacin and just sweat out those toxins, and then do training routines. Let's then take an addict who's going through withdrawal and sit them in front of another person and tell them to just look at that person, just be there comfortably and confront them. Let's give him Xenu eyes, because Xenu eyes always helps with addiction. I don't think so. I don't think so. But it is a big problem. So if you guys get a chance, you may want to go check this out, because I love that she brought this up. I love that it is being addressed, and it is a key part of what happened with the Presley family. In my opinion, I mean, Elvis had his issues, right? In the book, in Lisa Marie's memoir, Riley painstakingly actually talks about and shares when her mother's addiction showed up, which is after the birth of her twins. I think she had a cesarean, she was on some opioids, and it just spiraled from there. And for 10 years, Lisa Marie Presley had a deep, dark struggle with opioids up until shortly before her son tragically took his own life, who also struggled with addiction and mental health issues. So I love that she's talking about this, because as we know, in Scientology, this does not get the attention that it should. All right, let's move on now. I need to tell you guys something. You may not have caught it last night, and this is like probably the most important part of this video. It's not, but pay attention anyways, okay? Just go with me on this one. I did a video yesterday. I've been doing a new series, pre-tape videos, called Natalie's Life After a Cult. As I figure out how to do stuff, frankly, I should have learned a long time ago, and I should have listened to Tony when he was like, babe, let me show you how to do this. Babe, you should know how to do this. And I was always like, no, no, no. What an idiot. I should have listened, because now I'm doing that and learning stuff. And I did a video with my grandson, Oliver, which was great. It's always fun hanging out with Oliver. But I got to tell you, this kid can throw shade. Don't be fooled by that cute face there. Yes, he is absolutely adorable. That's what kind of gets you in. But he will throw shade at you, as he did with me in criticizing how I choose to do math. Hey, Feral Cheryl. Good to see you. Feral Cheryl's coming tomorrow. We'll talk more about that later. So we're just going to look at a little clip from the video I did with my grandson. Shared it as a premiere last night. It's called My Grandson is Out of Control, but cult free, because you guys know, if you watch my channel and if you're new to my channel, my grandson Oliver is the very first never in Scientology, all in on bringing down this cult. The first one in the family in 4 generations. The first one. So I'm super proud of that, even though he throws shade at me every chance he gets. Take a look at this. Alexa, how many tablespoons of water is in a quarter cup of water?
1/4 cup of water is 4 tablespoons.
Okay. So you see what grandma's doing here? This is called math.
No, you're using Alexa.
Yeah, but I'm doing math with Alexa.
No, she's just telling you the answer.
Also another way to do math. So if a quarter cup,
Alexa to instantly tell you the answers.
Alexa, I mean, he's right? Technically, yes. Is that like, would that be considered cheating in some way? I mean, no, to me, it's using tools, but I guess at his age, I'm going to give that to him. And yep, Angry in Texas, he's hilarious and precious, and he's not wrong. So yes, I will concede to that, yeah, maybe it's not totally doing math with Alexa, but hey. Anyways, we were making bread from a box, of course, because you know your girl, I don't know how to make things from scratch. That's like too steep of a gradient. I have to cut it back. So I'm trying things from a box to, See if that's better. Bina, yeah, he's like doing that. He showed me how to dab and told me what it means. I had no idea because this whole dabbing thing came out way after my kids were grown. It's funny now that my grandkids are doing that, or at least my grandson. Nolo, he'll soon realize math isn't that fun at all. He's actually really good at math. He's really good at a lot of stuff. I think he's a bit too smart for his own good. He is cute and smart. That can be a dangerous, combination there. But he's fun. He keeps me on my toes. And hey, don't be fooled by the fact that he is 7. He is like quick. I love that kid. And we had so much fun yesterday. So I'm going to link that down below. It's also on my channel under videos. You can check it out. Lady Victoria, there ain't no shame in your game, Natalie. You keep cooking out of a box because I do too. Thank you, Lady Victoria. And we have to start somewhere. I'm just not ready to get into the whole like making the bread and it has to rise. Too many steps. Honestly, if there's more than 3 steps, I'm like, but I got to learn because you know what? I like to eat and I am like, yeah, I got to get into cooking. I'm hoping when Cheryl's here, I don't know if she cooks or not, but I need some help here. Oh, speaking of, you know what? I don't want to get too sidetracked. Nancy, can you remind me to talk about Thanksgiving later and the horrible thing that happened? Let's see. We'll talk about that later. I don't want to get too off track here. Okay. The Underground Bunker did a story with some added information about how Scientology is recruiting asylum seekers in Dublin, Ukrainian asylum seekers. And we've been talking about this like every day this week because it's been a big story. And the Underground Bunker brought another angle to this, some added information that came out. So this is how Irish reporters caught Scientology's sneaky exploitation of asylum seekers. So check this out here. La, 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 la. We've talked about a lot of this. The Irish branch of the Church of Scientology has been going into an international protection asylum center in Dublin and recruiting the refugees living there for all types of work, from cleaning parks to handing out anti-drug leaflets on the street of the capital. The men are not paid. Instead, they are given a certificate, which they are told will help them in their asylum applications. Okay, first off, I got to say, Scientology loves their certificates, you guys. Every time you finish a course or an auditing step on Scientology's Bridge to Total Freedom, you get a certificate. They're like, you get a certificate, you get a certificate, you get a certificate. You do anything, you do something to volunteer, they write what's called a commendation. They like to even give them to non-Scientologists, which frankly, I think is a little weird, but maybe they don't think it's weird. I don't know. Do people outside of Scientology hand out commendations? Do they? Honestly, I'm really asking. Somebody tell me. I've never heard of it outside of Scientology, just in Scientology where they do. Oh, today Natalie handed out 200 pieces of promotion for Dianetics. She's so awesome. Much love. I mean, stuff like that. And then like you can frame it or just keep it with your stuff. But yeah, they're big on commendations. They're big on certificates. So this does not surprise me at all. Many of the people strolling through Dublin who take a leaflet off one of these men will not be aware that it originates in the I can't say church anymore. It originates in the cult of Scientology. Irish Times reporters Sorcha and Connor investigated this practice and they talked to some of the vulnerable men who felt taken in by the scheme. They explained to In the News. And why is Scientology a very wealthy organization with a tiny membership in Ireland operating this way? So here's some added information. But first, too, it's like, why are they doing it in Dublin? You know, they're doing it in other places, too. Now, I'm really concerned about Dublin, you guys. I feel like we need to dig in. Who lives in Ireland? Who can go check this out further and make sure that Devante is okay? Hashtag save Devante from the other day. If you know, you know. I should have had a picture pulled up. Devante is a Scientology staff member. I don't know if he's a SEER member or not, but he's working in Ireland and he's an American. And I want to know what's up. What are you doing there, Devante? Blink twice if you need help. He just like, I don't know. the chat was saying that he was like super handsome, and the chat was making all kinds of comments about it. You know that I wouldn't do that, but the chat was. I was totally doing it 100%. You guys know that. And you know what? Yes, he is a specimen of a man, and he does deserve to be saved from Scientology. So anyways, this goes on some more to say that we wanted to add a few observations after listening to the fine podcast and the explanations of what Scientology is and what they're doing in Ireland. Ireland has been particularly interesting because the Irish people have demonstrated zero interest in Scientology. In 6 years, the number of Irish people identifying themselves as Scientologists went from 87 in 2016 to 132 in 2022 in a country of 5 million. 5 million. 5 million people, 132 identified themselves as Scientologists. This is why they're going after the immigrant community. This is why they probably brought Devante over from America. I don't know. I'm kind of guessing at that point. But yeah, Yadira, the chat, my pearls. Y'all are shocking. Okay, so let's see. What other hot points we got here? Scientology's invested a ton of money in Ireland. Makes no sense. In 2013, okay, now here comes the real truth as to why Scientology put so much money into Ireland despite 132 people identifying themselves as Scientologists. Because you might be like, Natalie, why Ireland? Why Ireland, as beautiful as it is? Why is Scientology putting so much money in there for 132 identified Scientologists? Plus Devante. Well, this is why, y'all. This is why. Okay, so listen to this. In 2013, Cruise, yes, the one, the only, Tom Cruise, visited Dublin for the premiere of Oblivion, and he was presented with a certificate by the government attesting to his Irish heritage. Cruise said he was honored and expressed his love for the country. Okay, I didn't even know this happened, you guys. Did you know this? Tom Cruise got a certificate certifying his Irish heritage. Where's mine, Ireland? Where's mine? Yeah, your girl is also Irish. I am part because let's see, how am I Irish? My mom's my grandmother, so my mother's like grandfather or something was a stowaway on a ship from Ireland and like jumped off the ship before it reached Georgia or that kind of like or the East Coast when it was reaching the East Coast. So there is some Irish mixed in there with the Hawaiian and the other fun nationalities that I carry. So Tom Cruise gets a certificate. I don't, but I have Canva. I could probably make my own, and I just might. So ever since then, okay, since he got the certificate and was like, go Ireland, his best pal, Scientology leader David Miscavige, has been on a buying spree on the Emerald Isle. He's pumped millions into a new ideal org and community center in Dublin, in a Dublin suburb, a new national office in Dublin itself, and a new Narconon in County Meath, which has yet to open its doors. That's tens of millions spent on facilities where there's literally no interest in Scientology, as the census shows. And we really do believe it's all explained by Miscavige's bromance with Cruise. I agree with this. Now, once a Scientology facility is in place for whatever reason, it then operates like any other Scientology outlet under the rules established by founder L. Ron Hubbard. And those rules dictate that church, cult, staffers, and Sea Org workers operate like the world is about to end with a mad focus on increasing their stats. So there's more to this, and I'm going to link it down below so you guys can read the whole thing. But really gets into not just why Ireland is on the radar of Scientology, but more about how these reporters busted Scientology. And I'm so happy this is coming out. I really am. Hey, Dusty, I see you there. Hey, Eric readers, all jumping in. Look at you guys just all jumping in here. Hey, aloha, everybody. Make sure you hula on over and show that like button a little tap. Yes. Thank you for doing that. Ooh, Gold Badge Farm. Watching you while I'm feeding the horses. I'm a little behind though. Love you, Natalie. Love you back. Thank you for watching while you're feeding the horses. I appreciate that. I do. I think as a child I rode a horse, but I was thinking recently, I have some friends with horses. Maybe I should try riding a horse, but then I stop and think, girl, your insurance ain't that great. What if you fall off? And then I go, yeah, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe in the summer. Maybe in the summer. I want to try it. Again, did it as a child. And, I've done the trail riding horses like in South Dakota, where you get on this horse that just seems like it's been doing this for a million years and it just doesn't even care anymore. And you ride with other people and one horse follows the other. But I don't know if that's considered really riding a horse or not, but that is the limit of my experience there. Sarasota Jerry says a cooking video with Natalie and Feral Cheryl together would be hilarious. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it. Oh, and Mama's Life says, yes, companies will hand out certificates and some other groups do also. But are they commendations? You're being commended for this. It sounds like it could be a military thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like a commendation. And that's why Scientology does it. I don't know. But thank you for chiming in, you guys. Keep chiming in about that because I feel there is much more to that story. Yes. Yes, indeed. All right. Now let's talk about Mike Rinder and some information that's really going to play into some other clips I'm going to share with you guys. There's some information. Some of you may know this, but you need to know this because it has everything to do with the mindset. Oh, Sandy McKenna. Sandy, I've missed you. I know you've been on vacation. I've been trying not to overwhelm you with text messages. Yes, popping in after 10 days away. I'm so glad Sandy's here. Thank you for being here, Sandy. All right, now that I've distracted. Oh, yes, Mike Rinder. So you guys know that Scientology has a policy of never defend, always attack. Let's look at some of that here, because especially if you're in any way connected to live streaming or protesting Scientology, you need to know this. If you're out here openly talking about Scientology like myself, you need to know this. It is helpful to know. So let's get into this here. This is from Mike Rinder's blog, Hubbard on Lawyers and Litigation. Ew, scroll past the L. Ron Hubbard photo. Oh, my eyes are burning. My eyes are burning. Okay, I'm fine. I have recovered. I am okay. So listen to this, you guys. This is from Scientology's own policy, okay? People attack Scientology. I never forget. Always even the score. People attack auditors or staff or organizations or me. I never forget until the slate is clear. That sounds like L. Ron Hubbard talking some serious smack there. It really does. A lot of smack talking going on right now. We're going to talk about it. The defense of anything is untenable. The only way to defend anything is to attack. Yeah. Not try to, I don't know, stop committing human rights abuses, not try to, if you really want to go with, oh, it was just a few bad apples, really, then what did you do to correct it? And why does L. Ron Hubbard back up what they were actually doing? Those who try to make life hard for us are at once at risk. This is so threatening, you guys. Keep in mind, this is a church/cult. This is why it's a cult. The law. Now, this one here is a doozy. We have seen this happening. And here is the actual L. Ron Hubbard saying it. The law can be used very easily to harass, and enough harassment on somebody who is simply on the thin edge anyway, well, knowing that he is not authorized will generally be sufficient to cause his professional decease. If possible, of course, ruin him utterly. Always find or manufacture enough threat against them to cause them to sue for peace. Peace is bought with an exchange of advantage. So make the advantage and then settle. Don't ever defend. Always attack. Counterattack to obtain the removal of the person with a product of dismissed attacker. Okay, you know that last part right there. This is, You'll notice too, sometimes you'll see this like things floating around, like when there was this whole campaign to get Aaron Smith-Levin removed from the Aftermath Foundation. And it was like, why are you like just so hard up for that? And I'll tell you who's hard up for it. Scientology. Counterattack to obtain the removal of the person with a product of dismissed attacker. So a dismissed attacker is a statistics of the Office of Special Affairs. Oh, we forgot to wake them up. Oh my God. David Miscavige. By the way, you guys, I've never done elf on a shelf before, and I don't have an elf. So I'm going to look up how to do elf on a shelf, and it's going to be David Miscavige on a shelf. Like that. I feel like he needs a Christmas hat. I'm going to look into that. Office of Special Affairs, rise and shine, my lovelies. We have so much to talk about, including your policy of never defend, always attack. Okay, so as we were saying here, as we were discussing, because what happened was we must ourselves fight on the basis of total attrition of the enemy. So never get reasonable about him. Just go all the way in and obliterate him. This is the leader, L. Ron Hubbard, the creator of a church. I find it so very interesting that on one hand, Scientology's all, look what we're doing in the community. We're just trying to do a food drive and feed people. And we're doing Winter Wonderland for the community, for the community, for the community. Never defend, always attack, obliterate people, get them fired, get them removed from positions, nullify them as an attacker. What in the world? What in the world of Xenu and all that is holy is happening here? This is Scientology. This is. And Office of Special Affairs, my friends. This is your policy. We know y'all doing this. We know. Even Mike Rinder, who ran the Office of Special Affairs for decades, is like, yeah, this is what they're doing. The court system has been used violently against us. The answer is to develop ways to use it against litigants so effectively that they become incapable of harassing us through it. So I am going to link this down below because there is more to it, but you guys kind of get the idea. Always defend. No, always attack. Never defend. Always attack. Never defend. Always attack. And you're going to see this play out more and more and more. In fact, we're going to look at a clip coming up of Danny's impact here on YouTube, where if you guys recall, Danny had a court case with Scooter Man, as we like to call him. His name is Philip Campos, I believe. And one day, Danny and friends were walking down the street over by L. Ron Hubbard Way, minding their own business. Scooter Man on a scooter rams his scooter into Danny and then claims that Danny tried to steal it. The whole court case, thousands of dollars later. Of course, Danny did not do any of that. Well, Scooter Man has reared his head again, and he's not leaving Danny alone. He is not, because Danny's impact, Danny is back live streaming since the, what did they call it? Scientology's Holiday Lighting Festival with their ice skating rink. So here's the deal. Look at this, you guys. Speaking of this crazy L. Ron Hubbard policy there, we're going to look at this clip here. This is on L. Ron Hubbard Way. This is from Danny. You guys see Philip Campos there? He's the guy, Scooter Man. We all remember Scooter Man. And if you don't, I pretty much just already told you what happened. So look at this. Look at what Scooter Man is doing when he walks by Danny. And then let's talk about how absolutely lame this is. Watch this. Now, what you didn't see, you can hear the water splash and you'll see it on the ground. He tried to dump water on Danny. He tried to dump water on Danny. Like, how random and weird and immature and juvenile is that? What is Danny like, like a witch, and you can dump water on him and he's going to disappear and it's going to burn? Is this some type of holy water from Scientology from within the building? Did he go in there? Is Xenu or L. Ron Hubbard himself in there blessing water and they're now throwing it on protesters? Is this a new tactic? You guys tell me. Inquire minds want to know. Yeah, David Bruce, you heard it here. Scientology holy water is now being used as a tactic against protesters. It's so stupid. Yeah, provocation, exactly. Incarnacle, unholy water. Let's not forget here that Scientology was started by a man who 2 years before he released Dianetics, the modern science of mental health, was in a sex cult trying to conjure the Antichrist. That's what L. Ron Hubbard was doing leading up to the release of Dianetics and then Scientology. So let's take a look. Let's finish watching this clip here. And by the way, for a man who claimed he couldn't get around and he needed the scooter for mobility, dude seems to be booking pretty well.
You missed, by the way. Trying to drop water on me? You missed. Yeah, sorry, I'm dangerous. I'm recording. Sorry, sir. According to them, I'm dangerous for recording. Be careful, everyone. I'm recording. I'm dangerous.
I muted myself. How lame is that? How lame is that? What are we 5? We're going to throw water at each other now? That's right, Becky. It's the holy water. It's a miracle. Well, it didn't hit Danny. It didn't hit Danny. And Desert Dog, yeah, pretty aggressive for a guy that's supposed to be petrified of Danny. I agree. You're supposed to be afraid of Danny. You go to court. Oh, outside of court whoosh, with your L. Ron Hubbard holy water, trying to throw it on protesters. We see you. We do. David Bruce says, need a parody song, Walk Like a Sciento with the osteoporosis look. Oh, that feels a little mean though, because they are older. Yeah, I don't know about that. I kind of want to laugh at that, but at the same time, I'm conflicted. This happens to me often where I'm like, that's funny, but also I feel bad because they're old and not getting what they need. But still, that's funny. Anna Christie, it's Danny's First Amendment right to be there and record if they throw water on him. It's assault. Yeah, you would think. Lucky thing he missed. Marilyn, Coffee Cult and Crafts. I love this. Keep it up, Danny. Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine if the shoe was on the other foot and Danny had a cup of water or a water gun and then just went full blown on this guy? The police would be there so fast. The claims of assault would be happening so fast. So this is next level ridiculous. It really is. It's so dumb. All right, now let's go over, speaking of dumb, let's go to Winter Wonderland. Everybody jump on the Aloha bus. Heading over to Winter Wonderland. Interesting thing about Winter Wonderland that we're going to take a look at. First, you know what? I'm going to switch the order of things. First, I want to show you guys something. So Winter Wonderland has been happening for like decades in Hollywood. It's Scientology's big recruitment event. And you guys might remember that last year, William Good, Scientology Audit Streets LA, was out there, invited other people to come live stream and protest Scientology, and they did. Jessica Palmadessa, Confident Chris, a whole bunch of other people came, and we watched it with great joy as they eventually shut down the Hollywood Testing Center. Now, Scientology is doing their Winter Wonderland again, but we're noticing some things, y'all. We're noticing some things. First off, this is LA's Winter Wonderland, and they're not talking about Scientology's Winter Wonderland. They're sharing all the holiday lights, every place you can find Santa, all these festivities happening around the area. And was Scientology's Winter Wonderland or Scientology's Holiday Lighting Festival anywhere to be found in there? No, it wasn't. It's not even listed. I looked. I looked and I did not see it anywhere. So I'm just saying, like Scientology, like nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. We care though. We care because you're using this as an event to recruit people into Scientology. We know because you use this as bait to go after largely the Hispanic community, because we know Scientology in Los Angeles has been targeting them for a long time. And this is no different at all. So let's look at this, you guys. Dan Walks LA was out there. We're going to look at a couple things here at this Winter Wonderland that not many people, at least, media wise, is really talking about. So I just feel like, Office of Special Affairs, that's kind of your job to get it out there. And I'm like, sorry, not sorry, but we have to go over a couple things now to show that you're kind of not doing your job. But I know that it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard because there's so many suppressive people out there. And let me ask you this one little question, okay? Think about just the people here on YouTube. How many people are that? Think about so many people. There are more Scientologists who have left Scientology. There are more former Scientologists than actual Scientologists, and so many speaking out. Even L. Ron Hubbard only said 2.5% of the population is actually suppressive. How do you explain declaring way more than 2.5% of the population of Scientologists? So either, I don't know, are you making suppressive people, or is it just people who question and push back and want to leave? You're now suppressive. You're going to leave my party. I'm not going to let you back. You're declared a suppressive person. That's pretty much what it looks like. So getting back to Winter Wonderland here and how nobody cares except us and some other people. So look at this here, you guys. This is Dan Walks LA. Let's take a look at this clip. We can see they've assembled the backdrop Santa house looking thing. They've got the trees up. They've got all kinds of machinery and things going. They got the big generator out there. What I'd like to know is, who is this? Are these Sea Organization members? I'm kind of feeling like they might be. They tend to like to wear all black sometimes. I could totally be wrong. You guys let me know if anybody recognize any of these guys who are doing this. Could be an outside company, but I doubt it. Scientology tends to do their own thing. And, they also like to wear, like, see how they look at all the keys. That's usually a giveaway of a Sea Organization member, ID card and keys all hanging down there because they like their ID cards and they like their keys. So a lot of direction going on. Looks like I don't know. This is like, we're getting to go time here, and they're making progress, but they don't really like have a ton done. And then something really or at least I thought this was kind of hilarious while Dan Walks LA was out there. Watch this, you guys.
I feel bad for this lady now who's doing the name on the star, because now she's being blasted with the speaker tag. That was my bad. That was my bad. Poor thing. I feel bad for this.
Okay, so here's the funny part. You may or may not have been able to hear it. While Dan Walks LA there, the police, I'll Be Watching You starts playing like really loud. And it just seems so funny and ironic because is it Scientology's way? Did they make a playlist just for Dan Walks LA? And when he walks up, they're like, play I'll Be Watching You because we'll be watching you, Dan Walks LA. I'll be watching you. I mean, the song's like playing while he's there. I thought it was just so perfect. And I am now convinced that Scientology has a playlist for when Dan Walks LA or other live streamers and protesters show up. Like, I think they're getting intentional in how they pick their music. The Stalker song, right? Yeah, exactly. I'll be watching you. Not creepy at all, but just completely creepy. But I love it. Dan Walks LA is out there. And Asen, you're right. It looks like a film set of a German Christmas market or the Temu version. Absolutely. I would say so. Now, okay, so you've got Winter Wonderland that's going to be going on, right? Over on Hollywood Boulevard. And then coming up, we're going to have the Hollywood Christmas Parade. And as we talked about yesterday, you guys, the Galaxy Press, aka Scientology float, is missing. 2024 balloons and floats. It was there the other day. Now it's gone. It is gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's missing. What happened? Did someone take it? Did they bail? Did they get kicked out? Like, what possibly could have happened? Here's what we know happened is that they had their Galaxy Press Scientology float there, right? Celebrating the books by L. Ron Hubbard. And then it said that it was being wrangled by the Boy Scouts of America. So there was this whole hubbubaloo, myself, many other people too. I was not alone in this. We were all talking about it. And people in the community were emailing the Boy Scouts of America, reaching out, trying to be like, hey, what's up with this? Next thing we know, float is gone. The float is gone. Here's another interesting tidbit I want to point out to you guys. Yeah, Incarnasoul, no Xenu float. At least not on the website. Is it going to appear during the parade, which is on December 1st? I don't know. I don't know. Julie Markham says, I hope they got kicked out. Stasia says, maybe a magician made it disappear. Okay, so I want to show you this. What I want to show you. Okay, so this is like the 2024 that we were looking at. I want to show you last year what it looked like. Okay, hold on a second. 2023. Let's go back in the time machine. The time machine. Everybody in the time machine, keep your arms in, right? Are we all together? Let us go back in time to 2023 and look at the same website, the Hollywood Christmas Parade, right there, Pirate and the Treasure. This is the float Scientology uses all the time, right? Sponsored and wrangled by Galaxy Press. Galaxy Press is Scientology, is Sea Organization members, is even Philip Jones here on YouTube's daughter, last we heard, works for Galaxy Press. So 2023, wrangled by Galaxy Press. Well, because I'm me, I went back and looked all the way back to 2018. Every year it said wrangled by Galaxy Press. So Scientology wrangled their own float every year. Now, 2018, none of the wranglers were listed. So maybe they started that in 2019, you know, the people who put on the parade. But it's always been Galaxy Press. Now, all of a sudden, it's the Boy Scouts of America, or at least we're led to believe that. William Scientology audit Streets LA, William Good, as I shared yesterday, he got a response from the Boy Scouts of America, the guy who runs the greater Los Angeles area. And he was like, yeah, we don't know nothing about that. As far as we know, our people are wrangling this other float over here. And then, boom, it's gone from the website. Not just the wrangling part, but the entire Galaxy Press, aka Scientology. And are the wranglers are the people who hold the rope because it's a balloon and they have to hold it to keep it there, just like the Macy's Thanksgiving parade. I learned this too this week, that a wrangler is one of these people that holds on to the float. Yes, Yadira, good girls and ladies assemble. And I would add to that list, good grandmas. We must assemble. We must assemble. ASIN, Scientology, Galaxy Press, Pirate. Where the hell is the connection between these three? I think L. Ron Hubbard wrote some, pirate stories because Galaxy Press handles the fiction works of L. Ron Hubbard. So, and remember, L. Ron Hubbard has written like mega mass tons of books. The guy's in the Guinness Book of World Records for it. But you know what, L. Ron Hubbard? So is my grandma. That's right. Google Betty Webster. Yeah, my grandma is in the Guinness Book of World Records 2017 for the largest collection of novelty sunglasses. So it's not just you, L. Ron Hubbard, in the Guinness Book. It's my grandma too. So there. She did. She got in there in her 80s. She set a goal in her 70s to have the largest collection of novelty sunglasses. And she lived in Hawaii on the Big Island. And she was a hostess at different restaurants in her 70s and 80s. Okay. And she would wear different novelty sunglasses. She would show up to work with like 8-10 different pairs, and she would just switch them out throughout the night. And people loved it. And tourists started going home and sending her more novelty sunglasses. In the family, we would always send her novelty sunglasses, and she amassed this collection. And with the help of her community in Hawaii, got it all documented. And in 2017, she achieved her goal. And I think she was Was she 90 by then? Close to it. Of being in the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest collection of novelty sunglasses. Just a little bit of Natalie Webster family trivia there. And this is my grandma on my dad's side, so never in Scientology. Never in Scientology. Okay, so now, as I was telling you, Galaxy Press always wrangled their own float before. What is happening now? Why we listen to Boy Scouts? Probably for clout, because let's be real. Scientology does so much of what they do just trying to get clout. In fact, we're going to get into it with the writers of the future and how Scientology is trying to use the clout of these writers to just, ride their coattails. Rika, no, that's not Grandpa Dad. Grandpa Dad is like my mom's side because he was my grandpa / stepdad. And my grandmother on my father's side, so my Hawaiian side of the family, was never in Scientology. But thank you. Itchy Thetan, is that right? That's right. Look at Betty. She's pretty darn, she was an awesome individual. Awesome individual. Okay, where am I at, you guys? Oh, yes. We're going to get to the some Galaxy Press stuff. But first, Scientology Up North sat down and did an interview with Robert Dam, who wrote a book. We're going to look at a clip because he was talking about kids in Scientology in the Sea Organization in the Scientology hotels. Looked like Jamie Mustard joined her as well on the stream. Let's take a look at this clip. Robert Dam recently wrote a book. He's done a lot of press about it. There's been a lot of stories in Denmark about him in the media. It's been fantastic. Let's give this a listen.
And how they were sent out to public schools at some point, not being able to speak Danish. They were just standing there. They were poor. They had old, worn-out, old-fashioned clothes. They had old, worn-out shoes. Many of them were pale and underfed, and they couldn't even talk. Most of them couldn't even speak Danish, and they were sent out to public schools at some point because the Inner Navy didn't have money. They needed to cut down costs, and the first things they cut down was the schools for the children.
The first thing they cut down was schools for the children. That is so on brand for Scientology and the Sea Organization. Great interview. Check it out. After this, I'm going to link it down below with everything else so you guys can take a look. Good job, Scientology Up North. She's been doing a lot to get the word out in her area and covering stuff happening around Europe too, not just Denmark. Okay, so now let's get back to this Riders of the Future thing. You guys, Riders of the Future is a Scientology initiative where they basically have a panel of judges who select winners on a quarterly basis to be in this, what do they call it? I'm going blank on the word, where there's a bunch of stories all together in one book. Anthology. It's an anthology. So we're going to look at a couple interesting things here that I just felt like, you know what? You just need to know about this. You just need to know. Galaxy or Riders of the Future. So Riders of the Future fourth quarter winners are announced. This was just the other day for volume 41. So Riders of the Future, it lists all, okay, so here's the people who won. People from Texas, Michigan, Wisconsin, semifinalists, and then a bunch of silver honorable mentions in here. I had no idea so many people submitted for this. Do they just list every person who submits? Because I'm having a hard time believing that this many people are honorable mentions and that they don't just mention everybody who reaches out, but it still seems like a lot. But here's the thing that I found kind of interesting. So Riders of the Future has these judges, and did you guys know? I was shocked to see who 1/2 of the judges are. And I'm wondering, do they know that Scientology is a human trafficking cult? Do they know that L. Ron Hubbard was a cult leader? Do they know? I don't know. But first, we need to stop in our tracks here and say, mahalo to Diana for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate that. By the way, you guys, today is Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central Time. We are going to do a members only live chat. And it's been a week, you guys. So I will be bringing, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm probably going to cry, but it's still going to be fun. Lot has happened this week. Ay. If you can't catch it live, do catch it on the replay. All right, back to this Riders of the Future stuff. So the judges, usually I'm like, I don't care. But this time I was like, I cared. I cared. I got a problem with this. Kevin Anderson. You guys recognize Kevin Anderson? Kevin Anderson and his partner, his not life partner, but like writing partner, who is also a judge here. What is that guy's name? I always forget his name. And I'm so sorry because probably Kevin Anderson gets all the attention. Brian. Nope. Is it Brian or Frank? It's one of these two guys. Basically, he wrote Dune, the prequel and stuff for Dune. Does anybody watch Dune? Are there any Dune fans out there? Can you put a 1 in the chat if you guys watch Dune? Because I watched it. And that's how I learned about Kevin Anderson. Hold on a sec here. 1 in the chat if you guys watch Dune. Tell me about it. Becky, thank you for gifting 5 Scientology Life After Occult memberships. I appreciate that. Everybody and anybody who gets one of those, please give a thank you, a mahalo to Becky. And Diana, wow, you become a member and then donate 5 Scientology Life After Occult memberships. I appreciate that. Big mahalo once again to you. I appreciate that. And again, everybody, as it rains down hot sauce packets, as Relatable Reese says, make sure you give a little thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, okay, good. So a lot of you guys watch Dune. 1 in the chat. Okay, Abraham says, I love Dune. Well, dude wrote like the prequel, and now he's judging writers of the future for Scientology. What in the world is happening here? You know, they give his full bio. So Anderson co-authored 15 books in the Dune saga with fellow Writers of the Future judge Brian Herbert, and 8 high-tech thrillers with Writers of the Future judge Doug Beeson. Okay, so these guys got some ties. And maybe that's how Scientology got them, right? You get one, you get the other ones. But am I the only one who just finds that kind of weird? It's okay, maybe it's not weird because this is on brand for Scientology. What are they doing? Scientology is going for the clout. They're going for the clout for these writers because they use them as, oh, look at this anthology. And they do. They win awards. They just won an award with, I don't recall if it might have been the 2023 one they did win an award for. But this is all more Scientology positioning and trying to present themselves as not Scientology. Oh, it's not Scientology. It's L. Ron Hubbard. It's the fiction works of L. Ron Hubbard. It's not Scientology. It is totally Scientology. Like, what is wrong with you? It is 110% Scientology. Like beyond. It's as Scientology as L. Ron Hubbard. It is as Scientology as Tom Cruise. I'm telling you, it is. I know you guys know this, and I'm probably like preaching to the choir a little bit, but sometimes there's new people, and then you guys can go forth and share. Galaxy Press is Scientology, is the Sea organization. They cannot hide behind that. They cannot. They're going to try to, though. They're going to try, you know it. Okay, now let's get on the Aloha Jet and fly to New York because Manning 8 was out there again. And I got to tell you guys, I've been loving watching Manning 8. If you're not following Manning 8 on YouTube, you should, because he has been out there talking about, like, asking questions of people from the personality test. But check this out, you guys. There was an entire line of people waiting to get into a show, and the line went past Scientology in New York. So Manning did his thing and asked them some questions and had an interesting conversation with a couple people. Check this out.
How would you like to take the free personality test for Scientology? It's a total, we're protesting Scientology, a total scam.
I agree.
Okay. You want to take it? No, we don't have the can. This is the fake one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, this is the fake one.
Family member who.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
Is there any chance you can contact this person?
No, he's dead.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, Scientology kills a lot of people. Lisa McPherson, Whitney Mills. Whitney Mills Estate suing Scientology right now in Florida, Pinellas County. She had medical problems and mental health issues. She asked for help, and then they told her, you have LRH and tone 40.
They don't believe
And
doctors.
yeah, especially psychiatrists, right?
Right.
And she passed away.
Did you hear what the woman said? She had a loved one in Scientology, and she said Scientology killed him.
So it's really sad. So yeah, we're trying to get the word out. I'm really sorry for your loss. That's a shame. It sucks that you're stuck right in front of this place too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, I hope you have a good show. How would you like to say?
Yeah, loses a loved one somehow to Scientology. We don't know the details of how Scientology killed her loved one, but we know that it happens. Let's be real, right? I mean, as he said, even Lisa McPherson, Whitney Mills, there's a countless number of Scientologists who have lost their lives due to not getting proper mental health treatment or even proper medical treatment. Let's be real. Let's be real about that. So I'm so glad that he took that opportunity to be like, hey, and what a bummer for those people who lost someone to Scientology to have to then be standing outside Scientology in New York when they're just trying to go to a show. They are. Don't Microwave Cats. Welcome. Big aloha to you. Welcome to the chat. I'm glad you're new and I'm glad that you're here. Make sure you hit that like and hit that subscribe too. So you stay up to, don't miss a beat, and then maybe set notification bell to all. Sometimes these notification bells actually work, I hear, but we keep trying. We keep trying. Rika says, I hope all the people around them in line heard that. Yeah, I know, right? I think they did. I mean, it's not like he was super quiet. I think they could. I think they totally did. I think they did. Desert Dog, the way she said they don't believe in doctors was telling. It was very much so. And just for clarification here, it is not so black and white that Scientology doesn't believe in doctors. Scientology does not believe in mental health help, anything like that. Scientology's first source of help is not medical, it's Scientology. So that's where the issue comes in. A Scientologist can hold their ground and go, I'm going to go see a doctor. I'm going to go get antibiotics or whatever it was. My mom got a kidney transplant while an active Scientologist. And while I was an active Scientologist, I gave her a kidney. And that was not an issue. But because Scientology indoctrinates its members to not reach for mental health help, they don't get it. And because Scientology indoctrinates its members into believing you just need to get up Scientology's bridge to total freedom. And then you will not need the doctor. So what happens is medical conditions that maybe could have been treated early on are not. And Scientologists perish because of it. And if I had to guess, it was probably something like that with her loved one. And how tragic is that? Which really, what are the odds? So how common is this, right? There aren't that many Scientologists. It would be generous to say 30 or 40,000 would be too much. I think it's closer to be between 20 and 30,000. There are many more former Scientologists running around out there. So for Manning to run into a woman who had this experience right in front of a Scientology building, in my mind, means this just has to be happening more than we even think in ways that we haven't even heard about. Okay, now let's go over to growing up in Scientology. Aaron Smith-Levin and Jenna Miscavige were talking smack. I think it was even called their Smackdown Monday. They were talking mad smack, you guys. Let's take a look at a couple things. First, okay, Aaron is threatening to do this reaction video to these David Miscavige videos. And if he doesn't do it, I swear to God, I'm going to do it. And I still might do it. I am dying to see this. So if you do not know, Scientology has been pumping out video after video, love bombing David Miscavige. All these people like, oh, David Miscavige, he saw me and he knew my name. I mean, yeah, I've worked with him for like 20 years, but he knew my name. I mean, like, how dumb are you? It's just like, no, it doesn't matter what you say about David Miscavige. He is still a cult leader running a human trafficking cult, and he's abusive. Hello. How many books were written about David Miscavige beating his staff? Counterfeit Dreams by Jeff Hawkins, right? Blown for Good by Mark Headley. A Billion Years by Mike Rinder. Multiple people. I got my books right over here. Multiple people have come forward and talked about this and shared about this. Even Jess, who's often in the chat here, Jess LaBarber, talks about how when she was a Sea Organization member, she was made to salute his dog. This is not a stable individual. I don't know if you guys have figured this out yet, but I love that Aaron is, and I'm I am going to like remind him relentlessly about this because I want to see it. Is going to do a reaction video to those videos. Listen to this. This was from the SmackDown.
Are you going to do a video on all the new videos of Captain Davy of the Giant Space Navy posted by Scientology? Yes, I'm going to be doing live reaction videos to those videos. Here's an example of ones that are hilarious. It's the members of the Jive Aces pretending that they're just a normal band. They're pretending like they're public Scientologists.
Yeah.
Where David Miscavige, he came to one of our performances and he knew who we were and he knew my name. I'm like, you've been Sea Org members for 30 years.
Yes.
You're int base CMO staff.
Yes.
Of course he knows your name.
Yeah.
You're also the only band in Scientology.
Yes.
It's your job.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, he knew my name and he bought me a ukulele.
Oh my.
Are you going to do?
Jenna goes on to share a very interesting story about the Jive Aces right after that, which is really interesting. You guys probably don't even know who the Jive Aces are. They're like these Sea Org members who had this band. They were kind of bigger back in, was it the 90s? Was it the late 80s, early 90s where they were like doing gigs? Vanessa, do you remember the time frame? OMG, the Jive Aces are terrible. Yeah. And they are Sea Organization members, which I always thought, how does that work? How does that work? Because you're traveling, you're doing all the things. Are they really keeping their ethics in? I am just waiting for people to come forward and talk about their encounters with the Jive Aces while they were on tour and all of the out ethics that ensued. I don't know. I'm not saying there was. I'm just saying, I'm just waiting for that to come out because it usually does. You know, you get away for a little bit. You're out from under the thumb of David Miscavige. You're a musician. It just seems like you might want to cut loose in a certain city. I don't know. Has it? I'm not saying it has. I'm just saying that my email is natalie@lifeafteroccult.com. And if you know anything about the Jive Aces or anything like that, hit your girl up because I'm curious. What's the deal? What is the deal? Okay, and let's look at one more clip there because it'll lead into kind of what I'm going to tell you next.
I hear you right. Are you coming to Minnesota? Feral Cheryl is going to be in Minnesota.
That's right. With Natalie.
And if it's already in the live
Thanksgiving.
chat, then that means we're not giving anything away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the uncertainty. Like for a second there, they weren't sure because, you know, I did not say right away that Feral Cheryl was coming. I think we shared it like a week or so ago. But they're right. If it's already in the live chat, people already know.
And I think Natalie said it's going to be, I wouldn't want to scare Cheryl by telling how cold it's going to be.
That's right.
Pack warm, Cheryl.
She said she wasn't going to tell Cheryl.
Pack warm. It's not like she doesn't have access to the internet and can't check the weather report. But
well, some people don't, Aaron. Some people don't. But I'm pretty sure Feral Cheryl already knows that it gets cold here in Minnesota, in the Midwest. And you know what? I've got extra snow pants and jackets and hats galore. So we'll be able to take care of Feral Cheryl when she's here. Hey, Antics of a Mama Squirrel. Good morning to you. Are you lying? You know, you got to be lying, Steel Bilf. I did a couple fat lines with the Jive Aces in the bathroom at the Village Vanguard. Oh, that's funny. That can't be for real. Anna's like, I've never heard of them. Yeah, don't worry. You're not missing much. You're really not missing anything at all. I'm surprised. Like, I didn't think they were still around because it's been such a long time. I just feel like there's a story there that we're not hearing about the Jive Aces. My spidey sense is going off. Lisa Pete, Natalie, did you learn to play the ukulele in school? Not in school. I did take lessons as a child and I cannot play it today. I mean, it was hard, but you know why it was hard? Because I'm left-handed and they were trying to teach me right-handed, I think. And at least that's what I blame it on. I blame a lot on being left-handed. It's also why I can't cook because I'm left-handed. I know that's not true. Just give it to me, you guys. Just let me have it. Just let me have it. Diana says, I believe we need to flood this new Congress so they will have a hearing. They need to know about the abuse. I agree with you 100%. You can still go to SPTV.SPACE, go to resources, find the link that shows you where you can find your lawmaker in your area. Right from there, click on it. You can send them a letter. You can send them an email about this. And there's even a sample email on what you can say. And then if you CC the email that's listed on there, they'll update the list so we know who's responded, who hasn't responded, how many people have responded. Let's see here. Dun 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 dun. I got real behind on questions here. Ooh, this is a good one. KLKH, if you hate cooking, buy the I Hate to Cook book. Ooh, there is a such thing? Huh. Is it helpful though, or just funny? Because I might need that. Might need that. Asen, he may be out of the cult, but the cult thinking never left his brain. Let's see. Asen, I'm going to assume that you're talking about Mike Rinder and the story we did earlier with him sharing the tactics that Scientology does and will pull. That sounds eerily familiar. Tell me the difference between Scientology policy of attacks and what happened the last month here. They're the same. They are the same. Scientology, excuse me, you guys. I actually have to blow my nose. Okay. I am allergic to my daughter's dog, and I think the hair is wafting up here. Okay, I digress. There's not much of a difference. Scientology policy, as we reviewed earlier, is very much never defend, always attack. And how they do it is by discrediting people who have first-hand accounts of their time in Scientology, of their time in the Sea Organization. So that's part of what they do. And, sometimes in any community, there's going to be disagreements and people aren't going to get along. And Scientology will look to exploit that. They will send information to, let's say, person A dislikes person B. Well, where's my Scientology? David Miscavige has to be Scientology. Scientology will come over and be like to person A, hey, person B did blah, 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 blah. And then go to person B and go, hey, person A is saying blah, 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 blah. And the goal is to create conflict. And you know what? It works. It does. I can't tell you how many times I have been on a couple live streams after the show while I'm eating breakfast and scrolling and see comments about something I said on this show that I did not say. Or claiming I didn't cover something that I actually did. And that's where you can kind of tell when there's that conflict. It's not always Scientology and the Office of Special Affairs. What they do is they get other people to forward and spread these rumors. That's their whole job. That's what they do. It's not enough for them to do it. The goal is to get other people to do it and to try and silence people who are critical about Scientology or exposing Scientology. That's why I'm always suspect when it's like, awfully interesting that person just shared a story exposing Scientology. And now there's these weird things being said about them, which sounds a lot like Scientology. It really does. Our attorney, can you please explain Scientology beliefs about aliens and the galaxy? Okay, I will try and do that in a nutshell here. So Scientology does believe in aliens, but here's the interesting thing. And my former Scientologist, you guys tell me, back me up on this if I got it right. They don't use the word. L. Ron Hubbard doesn't really use the word aliens. He talks about beings on other planets. I don't know if because the word alien, people would be like, oh, aliens. Oh. Or, you know what I'm saying? He's just trying to soften the blow when it comes to Xenu, but he does refer to them as beings. So in Scientology, way before you get to operating Thetan level 3, where you learn about Xenu and body Thetans, there are multiple lectures where L. Ron Hubbard talks about flying spaceships and how we've been in other intergalactic battles, because Scientologists believe that as individuals, as souls, as a Thetan, as they call it, that we've lived lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, going back into the times of, actually like some other life on a planet and space travel. A lot of other lives on other planets are covered. Like you can in Scientology auditing be like, I was born on this planet and my alien dog died and it upset me. Your Scientology auditor is not going to be out. No, man, that's not true. You didn't have no alien dog. No, they're going to sit there and go, okay, thank you. Go to the beginning of that incident. They're just going to Scientology audit you. So as far as the galaxy goes, I mean, L. Ron Hubbard made reference to different like solar systems and things. I don't know if it ever played out in science as being true or not, but they absolutely do believe in life on other planets. And I mean, let's be honest, at this point in 2024, in fact, I want to know if you guys will tell me. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe there is life on other planets, and put a 2 if you think it's all BS. 1 in the chat, life on other planets exists. 2 in the chat if it does not. Do 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 do. Okay, we're getting some 1s there. I do. I don't see how it couldn't at this point. I really don't. I don't. I love, like, I could talk aliens all day. I love watching the alien shows. And they have way more information about it than Scientology ever did. Okay, we got a couple 2s, and I respect that. I respect that. A lot of 1s, though. 3 undecided. That's a good one, Stasia. Thank you for giving us a third option. But I love how so many of you actually do agree with me on this, and some of you don't, and that is totally okay. 100%. You get to have a different opinion here at Scientology Life After Occult. So tomorrow, Feral Cheryl is coming. Here's the deal, you guys. Tragedy has struck my house. Okay, not exactly tragedy, but I have a situation. I will probably bring this up in the members only chat today to see if people have suggestions, but maybe you guys can help me out too. My son-in-law was supposed to make the turkey. Okay, I ordered the turkey. I ordered a beautiful turkey. Fresh. He was going to make the turkey, and now he has to work. He works in the medical field. So this leaves, ooh, more 1s. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, keep them coming. 1 in the chat if you believe that there is life on other planets / aliens, and 2 if you don't, and 3 if you're undecided. So he cannot now make the turkey. So what is supposed to happen? Well, what's going to happen is my daughter and I are going to make the turkey, and I'm not sure she has made a turkey, but she's already looking into and researching about it. But thankfully, Feral Cheryl, who will be at my house tomorrow, has cooked many Thanksgiving turkeys. So I guess what I'm saying is, Cheryl, please, could you help us and probably make the turkey? We will help. I'm really good support staff. Now I know where almost everything is in my kitchen. I've been learning that as I've been getting in there doing some cooking. Tony had his own system for putting things places that didn't always make sense to me, but Kelsey and I are going through and reorganizing the kitchen to make it more, more Natalie friendly, more easy. Good. Feral Cheryl is in on making this turkey. Tragedy could be avoided here. I just need a kettle. Girl, I got hot water on tap, okay, for your tea, and I have a kettle. I got you covered. I even have all kinds of tea. I know you like your tea. I've got all kinds of herbal tea. I've got some black tea, and maybe I'll even get more. But we're going to be able to pull this off. A cute pumpkin clodhopper. I love your name. I love when you come around. I go to the Butterball website. Very helpful. I've heard of that. And there's an 800 number that you can call too. Now, I'm assuming I can call even if I don't have a Butterball turkey. Butterball is a brand, right? And I didn't get that. I live by a meat shop because, God, I love meat so much. Any kind of meat. I love pork. I love steak. Ooh, I had not had steak in forever. I love all the things, and I live right by this amazing meat shop. And yeah, I love heading over there. That's right, Marilyn. Cheryl to the rescue. Oh, it's going to be like that too. And I'll be sharing it with you guys because that is what I do. But I was starting to panic because I'm like, oh my gosh, like the family's coming over. We do potluck on most of the things. Or, I order it. I've done that on a few things, but I think we're going to pull this off. Yep, Yadira, Natalie, she's got the meats. I don't think I could ever be a vegan, which is why I could never marry William Good, Scientology Audit Streets LA, because he's a vegan. That's pretty much, yeah, no. From Hawaii, we especially love our salty meats, like our pork. Did you guys know that in Hawaii consumes more spam per capita than any other place in the world? We love our salty meat. It became very popular back during World War II, where it was brought in because there was a meat shortage, and we love it. We do all kinds of meat. One time, my sister stopped eating meat. My Hawaiian grandma almost lost her mind. She couldn't even compute. And she's like, well, you can eat pork, because pork is really big in the Hawaiian culture. And my sister's like, no, I don't eat meat at all. And my grandma was like, what? My grandma was ready to stage an intervention at that point when my sister temporarily stopped eating meat. Now she's back to it. So, our family is whole again. Are you? Oh, I'm liking that the alien things are in there too. What are you guys doing? I would love to hear about how you guys are doing Thanksgiving. Some of you are out of the country and you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, which is an American holiday. Now, Canada has a Thanksgiving, I recently learned, and it was earlier in the month. So theirs is over. Mama's life. So good to see you. My grandparents were hog farmers. Oh, I'm telling you, I can't even go to like the state fair. Joey, I bought steak pie for my tea. I can't even go to the state fair with baby exhibit because the little baby pigs even. Yeah, I know. It's horrible. Some of my friends are like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. My family loves pork. We've always loved pork. That is food. Even a baby pig to me is food. It just has to grow up. Oh gosh, yeah, I got some friends that really did not appreciate that when I thought that the baby exhibit was some type of roasting concoction. But I'd never been to it before. And I also don't go to the state fair because it's crowded. And I love the junk food so much, and there's way too much of it there. All right, you guys, remember, members only. We're going to do that at 4:00 today. If you can make it, if not, catch it on the replay. Please do. Please do, you guys. Be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and set your notification bell to all. Most importantly, everybody, I hope you get out and you have an amazing cult-free day.